What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are continuing on with our work on the Skyline, and this time we are going to service the transmission. We're going to change out the fluid. Again, it's like a pickup truck. The drain plug's right here in the middle of the bottom. Need a 1/2-inch ratchet with an extension to get to it nice and easy. The fill plug is up here on the side, right here, which I've already pulled loose. So I'll go ahead and screw that out. Okay, cool. So that seems to be at a decent level. It's not leaking out. We're going to go ahead with the ratchet. We already got our drain pan underneath of us. We're going to try and do this real time so that you can see, just like the last video, that, you know, excluding jacking the vehicle up, you could be done with this in just a few minutes. Shouldn't take long. These hold. This is the 5-speed. It's a gts-t, so it's rear-wheel drive, so no all-wheel stuff. But I'm going to get it. Hey, that actually looks pretty good too. If you watched the differential fluid video, you would have seen that the fluid came out of there actually pretty nice, actually, and this looks super fresh as well. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff. You can see there's a little bit of fragmentation, some shavings on this, but I mean, the fluid itself looks great. This is probably all from a synchronizer or something, someone trying to drive harder than they could, or just ripping gears unnecessarily. We'll wipe this down. Got a rag under here with me. Get it nice and clean. It shouldn't take terribly long to drain the fluid out either. There's no reservoirs or anything. It just all sits in the bottom of the trans while you're not driving. So when it comes to a mild drip, we'll start pumping fluid in it. But it's just like the differential and other pickup trucks, 240, 180, etc. You basically just pump the fluid in there until it starts to leak back out of the fill hole, and that's when you know it's full. You want to make sure that the car is on nice level ground. Ours is tilted a little far forward, but the transmission itself's pretty level, so we're doing pretty alright with it. It might be a little full, a little over full, but I mean, a little over full is better than a little under full. So we're just going to let it be what it is with what we get. And then hopefully we'll be able to do this within just a couple of minutes. The longest part of this is actually going to be pumping it back in, and I don't think we're going to send the video for the entire length of time while I pump all the fluid in, because really it's the hard part's seeing where the drain plug is and where the fill plug is. And once you know what the general process is, it's not something you can't replicate really easily. But we just want to make sure this slows down. Like right now it's still a nice light pour, but it's pretty nice under here. I mean, there's some rust here and there. I'm kind of surprised that this car managed to come over here. It looks like there's some asbestos around the exhaust heat shielding. That's kind of hardcore. You can tell because that stuff looks like fiberglass, but fiberglass will eventually at a high enough temperature catch fire. Got that all over my... I know you guys can't smell it, but there is definitely nothing that smells quite like gear oil. It's a very unique, heavy, minerally flavor. Oh, look at that. I got anise all over me somehow. Oh, that's nonsense. We weren't even using anise. Where did that come from? Damn. Nope, I know what it is. It's the schmutz off of wiping this down. So that's just metal shavings. Good deal. Let's keep that all over my arm. It doesn't look like it's going to drain too much longer. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the stream itself isn't half as bad. Now you can just tell it's a really fast dribble. Nice and Easy job though. Something to relax with, do on a Saturday. Couple of buddies. Not to mention changing your fluids and your trans and your diff. That's never a bad idea. Even if it's still mostly fresh. Fresh fluid's fresh fluid. It can't hurt anything. It's just like you can run certain oils up 10,000 miles to a year at a time in between oil changes. But you know, I mean, it's great that stuff exists and works, but why? You can't tell me that 1-year-old Mobil 1 still performs as good as, you know, fresh Castrol Edge or Redline for that matter, since that's what we're using here. But I suppose it really just depends on whatever you want to put in your car, whatever brand you trust, whatever stuff you trust. That's going to be who you go with. But I think that's a slow enough drip. That also looked really clean this time around, so we're going to go ahead and cap that off and start the fill process. We're probably if I don't have it filled within, I don't know, 15 minutes, we'll probably cut the video, but you'll get the general gist of what it takes and so on. Alright, so tighten your fill plug back up. Make sure it's nice and tight so that you don't have to worry about it later. Some of these thread in pretty deep. This one threads in pretty deep. And then once you're done, make sure you wipe it down. You don't want to mistake stuff you didn't wipe off dripping off for stuff that's leaking later on. So if you wipe it off now, you'll save yourself a lot of time and effort later if you start seeing drips randomly places. But again, you don't have to go terribly tight. You just want to go nice and snug to where you feel comfortable about it not vibrating loose. Now that's relative, because if you don't try to get close and you're not experienced and you just crank on it, you'll strip this out and you'll ruin it. And I'll tell you, finding Skyline parts in America, it's not impossible, but it's not easy. Alright, so now you take your little pump. You'll recognize this from the differential video. Alright, where's our hole? Fill hole is here. Go on up in there. And then you just start pumping. According to Mr. Will, he says that this transmission holds 4.5 quarts. I don't know if that's how much we got out of here, but that is what we're going to go with. And of course, it'll probably be a little overfull, like I said. It is what it is. But this little fill pump, it actually moves a pretty good amount. If you look at the bubbles moving right on along, they're definitely moving right on along. Of course, being underneath a car on the ground trying to do this, it's murder on the hands and the arms. It makes you feel really worn out really easy. So it's good to change positions and do the best you can to try and free up all the stresses and strains. Be ergonomic if possible. Take frequent breaks if you need to, if your hands start to feel like shit. There's no need in rushing and ending up messing something up just because you wanted to be done. Yeah, that's working pretty good right there. Yeah. Who'd have thought working on a Skyline would be this simple, though? I mean, you figure, over in Japan, where they built these cars, they were meant to be easily worked on, easily maintained, efficient, reliable. You know, it's just like buying a car, a Nissan over here. I mean, nowadays, they're pretty complicated and dealer-specific stuff, but back in the 90s, you know, these cars weren't terribly hard to work on. You know, the GTR was its own monster because of the suspension and the driveline, but these things weren't that bad. basic rear-wheel drive, 5-speed transmission. It's not a hard formula to get right, but they did it, and they made it easy to work on. Like, anybody can do this. You know, I've never worked on a Skyline before, but here I am underneath of this thing, bringing you guys along, showing you that it's really not that difficult to do, and it's kind of surprising to me. We're going to do some serpentine belts on this thing for another video. That should be the part 3. Oh, well, it looks like we are through one bottle. That sounds pretty empty. I'm seeing a lot of air bubbles. So we're going to open the next bottle. Of course, we've already opened all these. Will did us a solid. Alright. So we get rid of this one. That's still got a little bit in it, so don't throw that away. It won't get everything out of these, but... Whoop. Spraying money everywhere. Get it back in the fill hole. There we go. Man, this is time consuming. It would have been so nice to have had some kind of an electric pump. Oh, God, gear oil. That's such a smell. Definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel while you're here. Leave a comment below if you liked the video or if you have something that you'd like to see. I usually do Volkswagens, and my videos largely rely on what I have access to work on. Thankfully, my buddy Will, who's filming for us today, is letting me do this with his Skyline. Which, who doesn't love a Skyline anyway? Everybody loves a goddamn Skyline. They're awesome. They're good cars. Expensive, hard to find, and rare in America, but becoming more popular, becoming more common. Like, it's nice to be able to work on one of these. Because even though it's really similar to stuff that we already have here in design, like... It's still a Skyline parked out my backyard. Me putting some work in on it. Okay, we're almost done with the second bottle. So that'll be 2 quarts. Oh man, that wind feels so good under here. God, we need to get an auto pump for this stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh. Alright, so again, prep your second bottle. Third bottle now. Get them close to one another. Whoa now, don't be dropping the camera, guy. Man.
Video's ruined now.
Why? Because you
dropped
dropped it? Internet's gonna hate us. They're gonna call us a bunch of amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking idiots. I swear we didn't mean to do it. We were doing our best. And, you know, things happen. And sometimes you just drop the mic. My bad. Golly dag. Wonder if this is what it's like to be one of those guys in the bathroom that squirts the soap into people's hands. Like those super those super uptight, like, high and mighty mega white places. Man, that really kills the arm. Keep pumping, keep pumping, keep pumping. We only got 1.5 more to go after this one. So the faster we get it in, the faster we're done. And then it'll be a realistic repair. Which even still, if this takes you an hour at a shop, a reputable shop where you would be willing to take your Nissan Skyline to, is probably going to be $100 to $140 an hour shop. So even if it only takes them an hour, it's hey, that looks like it's coming back out. I wonder if that's because it's coming back out or because yeah, that's coming back out, bud. So I think we're full. I'll keep pulling, keep pumping. I'm at least going to put the last of this in there. So that way it'll kind of mix with whatever's in there. And maybe push some of the old stuff out too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely solidly coming back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that hose is like in there. Look at that. Yeah. We're full up. Are you satisfied with it being full? I know you said 4.5 quarts, but I'm pretty sure it leaking out this hard is...
Yeah, that's what all the forums said, man.
Alright, so just pop your tube back out. And get your fill plug back in there. Get down. Move.
Trying to hit the camera.
Oh, God. Oh, God. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, resident bum.
Yep.
Go help my wife. Get as much of the schmutz off of you as you can. Now we need to go back with the wrench. Tighten this bad mammer jammer up. I found that out of this entire process, this was the hardest part. And it wasn't hard. It was just time consuming. Because it's like... Although that feels pretty good and tight, we'll give it a little bit more. There we go. Alright. And alright, everybody. That right there, I don't know what time are we at?
18:20.
18:20. So in 20 minutes, with the car already having been jacked up, we have serviced the transmission fluid. We have changed the transmission fluid. I don't know that it gets much easier than that. I mean... There's a fill plug on the side that's easy to get to. You get you one of these $5 hand pumps. It's a Pennzoil hand pump that Will ordered off Amazon. $5. And then boom. Jack the car up, get it on stands, and then 20 minutes to do your diff. 20 minutes to do your trans. There's no excuse for you to not do any of this stuff on your own. Like, tooling maybe. Not having stands or a jack or something maybe, but if you're a car enthusiast and you own one of these cars, you know what it comes with as far as maintenance requirements. So, like, you should be ready for this. But definitely stick around, subscribe, comment below. If you want to see something specific, let me know. I'll do what I can to make a video happen. But other than that, that's it for this time. You guys have a good one. Thanks and bye-bye.